Some realizations don't hit you like a lightning bolt. They're more like a slow, creeping rust. You know, when you build an entire life, brick by brick, only to suddenly discover that to some people, you were never anything more than a doormat. Well, my name is Richard. I'm 52, and it took me 26 years to understand that you don't beg for respect. You earn it, or you walk away. I'm a civil engineer. I have my own firm here in Naperville. I started from scratch, literally. My father was a mason, taught me that a real man builds with his hands and honors his word. I went to college at night, worked during the day. Graduated, opened my office in '99, just me and an intern. Today I have 8 employees, good projects, a clean name in the business. I'm not rich, but I've built an honest living. Married 26 years to Patricia, 2 adult kids, Philip, 24, with a business degree, and Julia, 21, studying architecture. I've always been discreet, a hard worker, the type who talks little and does a lot. My wife never had to work, not because I demanded it, but because I could always provide. The kids went to private schools, paid tuition, a new car when they graduated. I paid for it. It was my role, and I did it with pride. A quiet marriage, an established routine, that ordinary life you think will last forever. Except there was one detail, a detail I swallowed for years, like a fishbone stuck in my throat. The father-in-law, Maurice, a retired businessman, or rather, a bankrupt one. He owned a building supply store that went under about 15 years ago. Since then, he's lived off the rent from 2 properties left over from the good times. But to him, I was always small. The little engineer, he'd call me with that smirk. Never Richard, never son. The little engineer. Like I was a toy, you understand? My mother-in-law, Elaine, was always polite, kind even. But the type who never contradicts her husband, no matter how absurd he's being. And Patricia? Patricia said it was just his way, that I was too sensitive, that he didn't mean any harm. He's like that with everyone, honey. Was he, though? So, before I tell you what happened, I just want to thank you for being here, listening to this. If you've also been through a situation of disrespect in your own family, you know what I'm talking about. We're in this together. Because, man, some stories just have to be told, right? If only to stay sane. But for you to understand how we got here, to the breaking point, I need to go back a bit. Show you how things soured slowly, like milk left out of the fridge. You don't notice at first, but when you do, it's already too late. The first signs started about 3 years ago. Small things, almost unnoticeable. I'd call Maurice to plan a Sunday lunch. He'd take days to call back. When he did, his voice was curt, like it was an obligation. I don't know if we can, Richard, I'll see. And he'd hang up. Family lunches became rarer, and when they did happen, I'd feel that weird vibe, like when you walk into a room and you just know they were talking about you. There was one time, Philip's birthday, a BBQ at our house. Maurice showed up with the brothers-in-law all together, cheerful. I was at the grill, apron on, managing the fire. He walked right past me, greeted everyone else, and just gave me a nod from a distance, didn't even come close. Went straight to Philip, big hug, pat on the back, all that joy. Patricia saw it. I know she did, but she said nothing. Then came the construction incident. I had just landed a big contract, a commercial building over on Route 59, a 2-year project. I told the family at Sunday lunch, proud, because it was a milestone in my career. Maurice listened, took a sip of his beer and let it fly. Do those little office buildings even make money? Just like that, in front of everyone. I explained it was an important project, well paid. He shrugged. I don't know, I thought engineers made more. And he changed the subject. My kids were quiet. Patricia gave an embarrassed laugh and started talking about something else. I pretended it didn't hurt, but it hurt, because it wasn't about the money. It was about him never ever acknowledging anything I did. And then things got worse, slowly, but they did. The comparison started. Maurice had an acquaintance, Ryan Miller, who'd been in Patricia's class in high school. This guy now has a huge construction firm, 50 employees, projects in 3 cities. and Maurice never missed a chance to throw it in my face. Did you see Ryan won that city contract? 15 million, Richard. 15 million. A deliberate pause, waiting for me to feel like trash. He'd continue. Patricia could have ended up with him, you know. He was really into her in high school. I'd take a deep breath. Everyone has their own path, Maurice. He'd smile. Yeah, everyone does. Then there was the lunch where he decided to talk money in front of the grandkids. Philip had just landed a good internship at a decent firm, making $2,500 a month. He was happy, telling everyone. Maurice looked at me and said, 2.5. Richard, what do you even make, like 5-6 grand a month? I said I made much more than that I had my own firm, employees. He laughed. Oh, right. Then why doesn't your wife have an import like Ryan's? Awkward silence. Patricia turned red, tried to change the subject. I just stared at my plate and said nothing else. Julia left the table crying. Philip looked at me with a mix of anger and pity. And me? I just sat there, quiet, swallowing it. Because look, after so many years, you learn to swallow it. You learn it's not worth fighting, that family is just like that you have to let it go. But it builds up, you know. It's like stacking stones inside your chest until it becomes a wall you can't tear down. Family gatherings became torture. I went because Patricia insisted, because the kids liked seeing their grandparents, their cousins. But every time, there was something. Marisa asking me to help carry groceries from his car like I was the help. I'd help quietly. Him asking my opinion on a renovation at his house and then saying, I'll just call a real architect. I'd pretend I didn't hear it. One BBQ, I brought prime rib, top shelf stuff, must have been £20, cost a fortune. Maurice took it, looked at it and said, oh, you brought meat. I thought you'd just bring those cheap hot dogs like usual. He passed out the steaks to the brothers-in-law as if he'd bought it. Nobody said a word, but there was one day, one specific day, that changed everything. Last Friday, my 52nd birthday. Patricia arranged a dinner at her parents' house in Hinsdale. A BBQ, the whole family, the usual thing. I didn't want to go, but she insisted. Honey, it's your birthday, they want to celebrate with you. Fine. I got there early, around 6, to help. I brought wine, a good French bottle I'd bought the week before, a $50 bottle. Maurice was at the grill. I greeted him, handed him the wine. He barely looked at it. Leave it there! And went back to the meat. The house was full. In-laws, nieces, nephews, my kids. Everyone animated, talking loud, cold beer, music. I sat in a corner of the yard, trying to relax. Patricia came over, gave me a kiss, said she was happy. I smiled. I tried to believe it would be a good night. We sat down for dinner. Big table, everyone together. Maurice at the head, as always. Me at the other end, far away. The meat started coming, salads, potato salad, easy conversation, laughter, until he started. Richard, his voice cut through the chatter. Everyone looked. How much is that Route 59 job worth? I answered politely. It's within the projected budget, a 2-year project, important for my portfolio. He laughed, that mocking, loud laugh. Portfolio, dramatic pause. Everyone quiet. Patricia really could have married Ryan Miller, you know. Remember him, honey? Today he's got a company with 50 employees. But she chose you. The sound of the world just stopped. I could hear my heart pounding in my ears. I looked around, the brothers-in-law staring at their plates, my kids frozen. Patricia let out a high-pitched, nervous laugh, trying to ease the tension. Dad, stop it! But her voice was weak, no strength in it at all. I took a deep breath. Counted to 5, I said nothing, because I'd been through this before, remember? I'd swallowed it so many times, I thought it would pass, that the conversation would change, that someone would deflect. But then came the bomb. Maurice stood up, went inside the house, came back with a box wrapped in colorful birthday paper. He walked over to me, everyone watching, put the box right in front of me. Here you go, son. Birthday present. You can open it in front of everyone. My hand was shaking when I took the box. It was light. I opened the paper slowly. It was a grill apron, red, cheap fabric, with a phrase embroidered in huge letters. The family's useless trash deserves a present too. That was it. It was over. Muffled laughter. A brother-in-law trying to hide it, covering his mouth. Another looking away. Maurice guffawing, slapping the table. It's a joke, man. You're too serious. Relax, it's just a gag gift. Philip looked at the ceiling, jaw clenched. Julia started to cry softly, hiding her face. Patricia went white, opened her mouth, but no sound came out. I stood up, slowly, got my keys from my pocket, put the apron back in the box. I looked at Maurice. I didn't say a word. I didn't yell, didn't curse. I just looked, and I said calmly, "Excuse me," and I left. Patricia came running after me. "Honey, wait! He's drunk! Come back! Don't ruin the night, please!" Her voice was desperate, like when you know something is broken, but you still try to glue the pieces back together. I stopped at the door, turned to her. "Good night, Patricia," and I left. I drove home. Ah, you think I said our home, right? No, my home, because that detail makes all the difference. I imagined the scene on the way, the silence after I left, the family, awkward, trying to continue the BBQ. Maurice saying I have no sense of humor, Patricia crying, being consoled by her mother, my kids not knowing what to do. And you know what went through my head while I drove? I remembered one day, about 12 years ago, Maurice had a serious heart problem, was rushed to the hospital. Patricia was hysterical. Elaine was in a panic. I dropped everything, picked them up, took them to the hospital, stayed the whole night. I paid for it privately because his insurance had a waiting period for the procedure. It was $23,000. He recovered, got better, never paid me back, never really thanked me either. But that's okay. It was family, right? I remembered another time. Philip needed orthodontics, an expensive treatment, 6 years of braces, almost $40,000 in total. I paid for all of it. Maurice never offered to help. But he loved taking Philip to the mall, buying him a pair of pants, a shirt, and then telling everyone, "I bought my grandson a little outfit." I remembered my sister-in-law's wedding, Patricia's sister. Expensive party, catering, decorations, the whole thing. Maurice didn't have the cash to cover it alone. He asked for help. I put in $15,000. Nobody found out. It was discreet because he asked for secrecy. But at the reception, he gave an emotional speech about how he had made his daughter's dream come true, all by himself. And so you ask me, how does a person accept something like that, right? How does a man swallow so much disrespect? Because we want peace, because we love our wife, our kids, because we think being a man means enduring, holding it together, keeping the family unit, because we believe that one day things will get better, that he'll see, that he'll change, but he doesn't change. He never changes. That's when I realized I wasn't as defenseless as he thought. I got home that night, total silence. I sat on the living room sofa. I looked around. A 4-bedroom house, big yard, 3-car garage, an affluent neighborhood in Naperville. I bought it in 2003, before our marriage. It's in my name, only my name. Market value today? $1.2 million. I also have a commercial condo downtown where my office is. Bought it in 2001. Valued at $380,000. I have a condo in Sarasota, inheritance from my father. He left it to me in 2008. I've been renting it out for 10 years. It brings in $2,500 a month. It's worth about $450,000 today, and I have $520,000 in investments. CDs, mutual funds, an old savings account, all built over the years, penny by penny. Assets that Patricia always thought were ours, except they're not. Part of it was inheritance, part I built before 2005, when we changed our marital agreement. We got married with a standard agreement, but in 2005, when the business was growing, we made a change. The lawyer suggested it, said it was safer for the company. We signed a post-nuptial agreement clarifying separate assets. Patricia signed without even reading it. She trusted me, and me, I protected what was mine. That night, alone in the house, I made a decision. I called my lawyer. Henry, an old acquaintance, a serious, competent guy. It was Saturday morning when I called. Henry, I need to see you. It's urgent. Monday, 8 a.m. I was in his office. I brought everything. Deeds, bank statements, the firm's incorporation papers, marriage certificates, asset documents. I put them on the table. I want to know exactly what she's entitled to if I file for divorce. Henry took the papers, analyzed them, cross-referencing information. It took almost 2 hours. He finally looked up. Richard, you're protected. The post-nup is solid. Your premarital assets and the inheritance are exclusively yours. She's entitled to 50% of what was acquired jointly since 2005, but from what I'm seeing here, that's not much. Maybe 140, 150,000 max? I took a deep breath. Are you sure? Absolutely. You were smart in 2005, weren't you? It wasn't smarts. It was caution. But now it all made sense. I spent the next 2 weeks organizing everything. I hired an accountant, separated the business accounts from my personal ones, documented every penny that came in and out for the last 18 years. I redirected the rent from the Sarasota condo to an account solely in my name. I removed Patricia's name as the beneficiary on my life insurance. I changed my will, leaving 50% to my kids and 50% to charity. I was methodical, surgical, every document stamped, every paper signed, every account separated. Patricia started to notice I was different, distant, cold. She tried to talk, to fix it. Honey, forget about that. My dad exaggerated, I know, but you're not going to stay like this, are you? I'd answer politely but curtly. It's fine, Patricia. I'm just tired. The kids called. Philip worried. Dad, what's going on? I told him everything was under control, that it was adult stuff. Julia, crying on the phone. Dad, Grandma says you don't want to see us anymore. I explained that wasn't it, that I loved them, but that I needed some time. And Maurice? Oh, Maurice sent me a text 3 days after the dinner. Man, forget that. It was a bad joke. I went too far. Let's turn the page. I read it. I didn't reply. I blocked his number, and that was it. I decided to move, but quietly, because a real man doesn't make a scene. He acts. 3 weeks after that damn dinner on a Thursday night, I asked Patricia to sit down in the living room. She came, worried, thinking I was going to talk about us, about the marriage, about therapy. She sat on the sofa. I remained standing. I placed 3 white envelopes on the coffee table. I said calmly, "There's a letter here for you. One for your father and one for your siblings. You can read yours." She picked up her envelope with a trembling hand, opened it, read it in silence. The color drained from her face. White, gray, her eyes filled with tears. The letter said, "Patricia, I filed for divorce today. You'll be served next week. After the assets are inventoried, you will be entitled to approximately $140,000, representing the assets acquired jointly since 2005. The house, the Sarasota condo, the office condo, and 80% of the investments remain with me, as they are premarital or inheritance. You have 60 days to leave the house. I'm not leaving you destitute. I will deposit $4,000 a month for 2 years for you to get reorganized. After that, we each go our own way. This wasn't an impulse. It was for my own self-respect. Good luck." She finished reading and exploded. She screamed, cried, called me crazy, cruel, a coward. "You're going to throw away 26 years because of a joke?" I replied quietly. "It wasn't a joke, Patricia. It was the last drop in a bucket filled with 26 years of disrespect. And you never defended me, not once. My dad is just like that. You knew that. I knew, and I swallowed it for years, but it's over." She threatened to fight me in court, get lawyers, screw me over. I said, "Go ahead. My lawyer has already reviewed everything. You'll get exactly what you're entitled to by law. No more, no less." She collapsed on the sofa, sobbing uncontrollably. I just stood there, watching. I didn't feel anger. I felt relief. I picked up Maurice's letter and read it aloud so she could hear. "Maurice, that useless trash you humiliated built everything your daughter has had for the last 26 years. The house she lived in, Mine, the car she drives, I paid for it. Your grandkids' college tuition, I paid for it. The hospital bills when you almost died, I paid for it. You went bankrupt 15 years ago and live off the rent from 2 properties. I built a net worth of almost 2 million. I'm not perfect, but I was never useless. Your daughter will receive her share according to the law and move on. You will continue with your 2 properties and your sharp tongue. The only difference is, now I won't be around to hear it. Good luck to you all. Patricia tried to snatch the letter from my hand. I didn't let her. I put it back in the envelope. I'm sending it by certified mail. The letter to the in-laws was simple. It said I held no grudge against anyone, that I wished them well, but that I would no longer be part of family gatherings, that everyone should go their own way in peace. That night was long. Patricia stayed in the living room, crying until dawn. I went to the guest room, locked the door, and slept. For the first time in weeks, I slept soundly. It didn't take long. Maurice found out. 2 days later, a Tuesday morning, he showed up at my office, unannounced. He just walked in, past the receptionist, and knocked on my office door. He came in, wrinkled suit, dark circles under his eyes. He looked like he'd aged 10 years. "Richard, we need to talk." I didn't get up from my chair. I looked at him. "Go ahead." He closed the door, sat in the chair opposite my desk, took a deep breath. I went too far at that dinner. I didn't mean it. You know how I am. I joke around too much. I've always been like that. It wasn't malicious. Silence. "Richard, for God's sake, you're going to destroy my daughter's family over this." I set down my pen. I looked him in the eyes. "Maurice, it wasn't a joke. It was premeditated humiliation. You bought that apron, you wrapped it, you planned it in front of my kids, my wife, everyone. And you know the worst part? Nobody defended me. Not one person stood up and said, 'That's too far.' Not even your daughter." He looked down. I know I went too far, but you can't do this. Patricia is destroyed. She'll recover. With her $140,000 and the $4,000 a month I'll be sending for 2 years, she'll get back on her feet. "Richard, please." I stood up, walked to the door, opened it. "Maurice, respect is built in years and lost in seconds. You lost mine at that dinner, and it's not coming back. Excuse me, I have a meeting." He left with his head down. He didn't try again. Elaine sent a message through Julia a week later. She said she was sorry for not defending me, that she wanted to talk, that I should forgive and come back. I sent a message back. "Elaine, I wish you all the best, but forgiving doesn't mean returning. We each go our own way now." Philip tried to mediate. He had lunch with me, tried to argue that family is family, that everyone makes mistakes. I explained calmly, "Son, family isn't a last name. It's respect. Your grandfather never respected me, and your mother never defended me. It's over." Julia cried a lot. She called me almost every day. "Dad, you destroyed the family." I'd take a deep breath, explain again. "Honey, the family isn't destroyed, but respect is non-negotiable. I love you. I will always love you, but I will not subject myself to humiliation anymore." The divorce was finalized in 3 months. Quick, because there was no fight. Patricia took her $140,000, the car that was in her name, and went to live with her parents. She moved back into Maurice's house. Ironic, isn't it? I sold the Naperville house, $1,350,000. I took that money and bought a small acreage out near Woodstock. Just a few acres, a simple 3-bedroom house, big porch, a creek in the back, a garden, an orchard. Silence, peace. I work remotely 3 days a week. I go to the office when necessary. I wake up at 6, have coffee on the porch looking at the woods, the birds. I read more. I learned to bake bread. I planted tomatoes, lettuce, kale. I adopted a dog, a mutt named Ice. I sleep without a knot in my throat. Maurice tried to contact me again via WhatsApp about 2 months later. "Richard, I messed up. I'm sorry. Can we talk?" I blocked the number. I don't have the energy for it. Patricia sent a message last month, said she was in therapy, that she understood now what had happened, that she wanted to apologize. I read it. I didn't reply, because forgiveness isn't reconciliation. Forgiving is letting go of the grudge. Going back is optional, and I choose not to go back. Philip visits me once a month. The relationship is distant, but it's honest. He gets it, I think, or at least he's trying. Julia still calls me crying sometimes, but she comes to visit too. I bring her to the farm. We bake a cake together. We talk. She's starting to understand that her father isn't the villain. He's just a man who chose his own dignity, and that's how it is. Maurice lost the son-in-law who supported his daughter. He lost the Sundays with his grandkids at my house. He lost the prestige of saying his engineer son-in-law paid the bills. Today, he lives in his condo, with his divorced daughter living with him again, trying to understand where it all went wrong. Patricia lost the house, the comfort, the stability. She's working now, for the first time in 26 years, in a home decor store, making $2,500 a month, learning what it means to earn her own money. And me, I lost a family that never respected me, and I gained the peace I always deserved. Today, looking back, I don't feel anger. I feel a quiet sadness, like when you bury someone who had been sick for a long time. It hurts, but you know it was inevitable. I learned that some people confuse kindness with weakness, that they think because you don't talk back, you don't have a voice, that because you provide, you're obligated, that because you love, you'll put up with anything. But it's not like that. Love without respect is a prison. Family without dignity is a burden. And a real man isn't the one who endures everything silently. He's the one who knows when to say, enough. Enough of making myself small so others can feel big. Enough of swallowing insults because that's just how it is. Enough of building castles for others to live in while you sleep outside. Today I wake up light. I drink coffee looking at the creek. I read the paper without rushing. I work at what I love. I talk to people who respect me. And I sleep in peace. And that peace, no family dinner, no father-in-law, no passive wife can buy. Take it from me. You don't beg for respect. You earn it or you walk away. And I walked. If you've also been through something similar or know someone who is swallowing disrespect thinking it's love, share this story. You deserve respect, always. Thanks for listening.